kielbasa. No, this is kielbasa, not kielbasa.
Yeah.
And we are using it to cook jambalaya. That's right, we're going down to Norlane. And when we go down to Norlane, guarantee we're going to make ourselves some good jambalaya, guarantee. What we're going to do here, we've got some rice, got some turkey polska kielbasa, got some onions, got some minced garlic, we got cayenne pepper, we got poultry magic from my hero, Chef Paul Prudhomme. We got paprika, we got onion powder, we got some olive oil, we got Worcestershire sauce, and ricey reese. I said rice. And of course, our chicken stock. Now we're gonna put all this together and make us a really good jambalaya guarantee. And we're gonna do it up right and nice with some olive oil. So what we're gonna do is, do I have to talk like a Cajun the whole time?
No.
No. So let's turn this fire on. There we go. And eventually it will light. We want to turn this on high because we need to heat this oil. And we're only using about 2 tablespoons worth of oil. Just enough to cook our kielbasa. So while that oil is heating up, actually let's turn this on to a lower flame so that way we have a little more time to work on our turkey polska kielbasa. So I haven't cut it yet, but I want to show the camera and you viewers out there how to properly cut a kielbasa for the use in a jambalaya. And we are making everything from step 1 to step 90.
Well, there's not that many steps.
No, there's not that many steps. It's very simple to do, so don't let the multitude of ingredients frighten you away.
Right.
So what we're going to do is going to clean this up a little bit. And we're going to move this over here somewhere. Let's move that up there. Move the onions to the side, and let's start cutting up our kielbasa. Kielbasa, senor. All you gotta do is just cut it into thin little discs, such as these. Don't need to be too thick. And the thinner you cut it, the more goes around. Look at that girl. She wants some kielbasa. She wants her some Cajun cooking.
She's just like looking at it like, I want some.
Well, you can't have it. That's what the Who once said.
I know you want some, sweetie, but you can't have any.
Now for a jambalaya, cutting it into perfectly round discs like this is normal for a kielbasa. Now some people, there is no right or wrong way to make jambalaya. There are so many ingredients you can add and so many ingredients you don't have to add. For instance, you can add chicken, beef, you can add, in the ways of veggies, pepper. You can add celery if you want to. You can add onion, you don't have to add the onion, whatever you want, but this is going to be some really good jambalaya. Now, all you really need is just the one, but with 2 goes a longer way, and you can cook the heck out of this meat. So what do you say we save this little guy off to the side in case we do need some more kielbasa for something? Because if anything, we could always make kielbasa in eggs. First things first, I'm going to test out the heat, turn it back up to about 7-ish. And first thing, we're going to cook our kielbasa in the olive oil. There's just a little bit to help get it started, get it nice and crispy. And what it is a 3-step process. First, cook your kielbasa. And that's what we're going to do right here. Add your kielbasa, all of it. Take your spoon and stir it around a little bit. Get that oil all over your kielbasa. Because that oil is going to go from one side of your skillet, so you want to get that all over your kielbasa. Get it coated. Good girl, you know your place. That's good. Okay, once you got them all covered in that oil, what we're going to do is add our seasonings. We're going to add a sprinkle of paprika. And I love paprika, so don't skimp on the paprika. Alright, stir that in. Paprika is going to give it a nice soft flavor and an enriching red color to your smoked polska kielbasa. Keep on stirring it around until it's nice and blended in. Then we're going to take our onion powder, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of onion powder. That's about a half a teaspoon there. And every time I cook Cajun style, I have to talk in a Louisiana accent. Guarantee. There's going to be some good stuff that folks down in Thibodeau would say, that's some mighty fine eating, son. Guarantee. Y'all don't have to be from New Orleans, Louisiana to enjoy this stuff, I guarantee you that. Now we're going to add a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Right here. Quarter teaspoon, that's enough. That's going to be nice and spicy as it is. Stir that in too. I'm going to use all of the seasonings that are made available to us. Smell that cayenne pepper. Woo! Talk about it kicking up a notch, I guarantee you that. Folks in New Orleans is going, yeah, that's a mighty fine Cajun seasoning. Alright, now you got that in there. Final step. I love Chef Paul Prudhomme, so add a lot of this stuff if you got it. This is a mixture of blended seasoning. I'm using the poultry magic because we are using poultry in our kielbasa. And you might actually be adding chicken or beef. You might actually want a combination of both meat and poultry. Because this technically is all poultry products. Now look at that. That Chef Paul Prudhomme, you can tell that seasoning is in there. You know, on every single living piece of kielbasa you got in your skillet. Get that cooking up good, and then what we're going to do, put our seasoning away. We don't need it no more.
Pause this for a second.
Yeah, get on out of here.
That's why I was like, hey, just leave that out.
Alright, now we're going to put our oil back up. However we can. There we go. Put that up there. Now, next step is going to be the garlic. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, or minced garlic. However you want to call it, is garlic. Level tablespoon. Get all that juice out of there. 1. And 2. A lot of garlic going in this recipe. Oh man, it's going to be cooking up nice and good. Get that mixed in all over. Mix it in, stir it in. I guarantee it's going to be in like Flynn. Whatever the hell that means. Oh yeah, this is starting to smell like good old Cajun style kielbasa, you better believe it. Alright. Put that garlic away, you don't need no more. When that garlic gets nice and toasted and red and brownish kind of color like, what you want to do then is add your onion. Now add that onion in there and get it all over. Now you need 1 medium-sized to large-sized onion, however many onion you want. And that dog is going right after. See, that's a Cajun dog right there. If it goes after onion, then you got a true Cajun in your kitchen.
She denied it.
She didn't like it.
Nope.
Well, she's not going to like this then. She's going to keep her nose out of this, I guarantee. Alright, now add all your onion there and stir that in too until your onion is nice and soft. Now, I'm using the sweet yellow onion, but you can add any kind of onion you want. You want the red onion, white onion, yellow onion, black onion, it don't matter what color, because cooking Cajun style doesn't mean nothing when it comes to good flavor. When it comes to good flavor and you know you got it, you can consider yourself a nice Cajun cook, I guarantee. So now, we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes, get it nice and crispy and get them onions nice and marinated. And then we're going to take, let's put our garlic and our kielbasa back in the fridge. Right chair in the refrigerator. Put that there. And then, our next step, while that's cooking up, we're going to reach over here and grab 2 cups of rice-a-risi. We'll just measure out 1 cup right now. Hand's a little shaky there. That's a little bit more. We'll give us another cup of rice when that comes around. Now you want uncooked rice, and I'll tell you why, because all of this stuff is going to mix together the way jambalaya should. Your rice is going to carry all of this wonderful succulent flavor. The juiciness of your kielbasa, the power of your cayenne seasoning, the greatness of the garlic, and the wonder that is Chef Paul Prudhomme. I love Cajun food, don't you? Love Louisiana food. And that's why we are celebrating the days of Mardi Gras and the days of New Orleans. You go down to New Orleans, go down to that Bourbon Street, walk into any restaurant, you'll be eating good. I have not seen one single bad restaurant out on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'll give this a good slide, good slipper slide. And look at them onions. That look good. Look at that kielbasa, all covered with that garlic. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look delish? Really, really good stuff. I can't wait to sink my teeth into this here jambalaya because we're making it ourselves and not going by Zatarain's. And Zatarain's is a good brand. Don't get me wrong. If you want a quick meal and that's not too expensive, get yourself some Zatarain's and just toss in some kielbasa, mix it, and then you got jambalaya. But I want to make sure that this jambalaya that we're eating here tonight is worthy enough of a Cooking with SonicBlu episode, because I could easily throw this together with Zatarain's, but that'd be like cheating. And you don't want to cheat when it comes to Louisiana or down south cooking. That's right. Now that's getting to be as close to done, but we're going to let this cook a little bit more. So crank up the heat to make that meat nice and crispy. Get your onions nice and singed a little bit too, because we want a nice charring, but you can't get too much charred in a skillet that's non-stick. You want some charring, get yourself one of them cast iron skillets. Those big heavy duty things. You know, the things that you only use about 100 times and only have to clean it once. That's a cast iron skillet at its best. And why don't you ever want to clean a cast iron skillet? For reasons obvious, it helps with the blackening. It adds flavor. All you gotta do is just keep it sanitized, that's all. Just don't give it to the kids, and don't leave it out in the rain. The less moisture that gets onto your cast iron skillet, the better, because these things like to rust like everything. And then sooner or later, we're gonna get a cast iron skillet, and we're gonna do some blackened catfish. We're gonna do blackened pork chops, blackened Angus steaks, cooked burgers. You can do a lot of stuff in a cast iron skillet, and for an extra added bonus, I'll show you how to maintain a cast iron skillet. But that's when we get one. Right now, I'm still trying to work on replacing my wok. Well, when we do Asian style cooking, it always helps to have a nice deep wok. And if you have a wok, feel free to use it in this recipe too. It doesn't have to be in a skillet. It doesn't have to be cast iron. It could be a wok. Maybe you're Asian and you have woks up the wazoo. And if you do, please send me one, because I lost mine. The reason why I lost it is I lost it due to rusting. And it ain't fun when you got a rusted wok. And it's even worse when you got a rusty cast iron skillet. And I've had one of them too, and let me tell you, that ain't fun. Once you got rust all over your kitchenware, it's over. Toss it away and get a new one. So that means you have to re-break everything back in. Alright, there you go. Now, that's all getting nice and spicy, and you can see the onion is starting to really caramelize a little bit. You can see that the onion is getting nice and marinated. You can see that the kielbasa is getting nice and juiced up. Starting to crispen up a little bit around the edges too, and that's what we want. Now, let's go ahead, reduce down to medium, that's 6, and add our 2 cups of chicken stock. This is chicken broth that we're going to be using. You can also use beef broth if you want to, if you want a beefy jambalaya. Like I said, there is no wrong way to make a jambalaya, but there is such a thing as using the wrong ingredients. Then add 2 cups of rice. There's 1, and here comes cup number 2. No more. There we go. That's no more. 2 cups of rice going on in. Now, the only thing we got left on that counter now is Worcestershire sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our ricey away. And we're going to leave our Worcestershire sauce off to the side. We're going to put this in the sink. We're going to put this in the sink. We're almost done with that. But before we go, we're going to give our nice rice a stir. And since you're working with rice and you're working with chicken broth, you want to cover this. So that way you don't lose a lot of that steam. You don't lose a lot of your heat. So what we're going to do is grab ourselves one of these big honking lids. And what we're going to do, we're going to cover our food like so. And we're going to let it wait and to cook for a little while. We're really going to give this about maybe 10-15 minutes until that rice has kind of seeped up all of that chicken broth. And we're just going to sit right here and talk it over about what makes Narlene possible. Well, it's the food, it's the festivities, it's Mardi Gras, it's the environment, it's the people. You have great fun down in Louisiana, let me tell you. And if you don't ever have fun in Louisiana, then Mardi Gras don't want you. But let me also tell you what we're also going to be doing to continue our celebration for Louisiana cooking. Next episode is going to be a doozy. And it happens to be a tradition dating all the way back in the earliest time of Mardi Gras. I'm talking about the old traditional king cake. That has been a tradition in Narlene, Louisiana, and any surrounding places, you know, like Baton Rouge and Ronguedon and even Thibodaux, Louisiana, like them some king cake. Now, king cake is going to be a nice, sweet, easy treat to make, and it's going to be so plumb easy that if you all can't make it after I instruct you all how to do it, then there is a problem somewhere, and we're going to tackle that together. Let's take a look at our rice, give it a little nice stirring. You want to stir this a little bit, not too much though. And since we're in a non-stick skillet, there's a less chance of your rice burning. But keep that covered up and let that boil until that rice has sopped up all of that chicken stock and all the flavor is just melded together in a beautiful jambalaya. Now, what we're going to do now, we're just going to get a couple of plates together. 1, 2 plates. And keep your Worcestershire sauce handy because you're going to need it for the finishing touch of our jambalaya. 10 minutes later, and look at this. We got jambalaya. Now, for an extra added bonus, if you want extra flavor in your jambalaya, extra ingredients, feel free to add bell pepper. As I said before, bell pepper can go in here, celery can go in here. If you want carrots, you can add carrots in there. You can add lima beans, but who would really want to add lima beans to jambalaya? You add red beans, good old red kidney beans to this too. And make yourself a really mean jambalaya with all the ingredients you can think of. But this is just a base of ingredients to make a basic jambalaya. And you might actually have extra ingredients you might think to add. Feel free to add it if you think it'll go good with this meal, because there, like I said, there is no wrong way to make jambalaya. We're going to finish this off with a sprig Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, or Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to look for about a half a cup. Get it all in there, give it a nice robust flavor. There we go. Maybe that's a quarter of a cup, but quarter to a half. You can always add it to taste. Some people only want a couple teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. But smell that jambalaya smelling good. Oh yeah. And when you get to this point now, you might actually notice that when you start stirring your rice, after your rice has absorbed all of that chicken stock, you might notice that your rice might actually give some singe. Just keep stirring that singe in there because we want that crispiness. Look at that. You got singe there, little singed bits over here. And that mixes in with your jambalaya. Just keep stirring that in. Because sometimes you want that singe to give it an extra crispy feeling. To make it taste just like down south Louisiana cooking on an open flame. Now smell that jambalaya. Doesn't that smell good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that smells so good. Now we're going to use a fork to get the rest of this on out of here. I say this recipe is wrapped up tighter than a diaper on a baby. Now we're going to take this here Worcestershire sauce and put it right back in the freezer where we found it. Back in the freezer it goes. Now, I get a couple plates, and you're probably wondering, what can I serve on the side of this? Well, bread and butter always goes good with jambalaya too. But y'all want good jambalaya, and just serve it up on a plate all together. All your ingredients are mixed in with it. We got that kielbasa, we got all your rice, your onions, whatever other ingredients you happen to be adding. Let's get on some over here, because no need to neglect this plate of any good jambalaya food, let me tell you. Now you might, like I said, you might have your own ingredients to add, and feel free to add them if you think it'll go good with a jambalaya, because there is never a wrong way to make good old-fashioned jambalaya from step 1 to step 3. Didn't take that many steps to do. So let's recap. Step 1, we added extra virgin olive oil and our kielbasa. Then we added in our seasonings one at a time as we stirred. And then we went for our veggies. We started adding our onions, our garlic, got it all nice and sauteed. And then we added the chicken stock and the rice, stirred, covered, cooked for 10 minutes, uncover, stir, and serve. If you want a nice, quick, easy meal, make yourself some good old jambalaya, and feel free to top it with hot sauce or Tabasco sauce. Any flavor that meets your fancy. You want to make it hotter than it is here, and with that cayenne pepper it's going to make it pretty hot. But you want a little extra heat, to try topping it with a little Tabasco sauce and serve it with a smile. And there you have jambalaya the old-fashioned Louisiana way. And look at that. Beautiful jambalaya. Let's try this out. Man. That was some real good jambalaya. Oh man. You know, with that other kielbasa in there, if this don't go a long way, then you know you always have enough to make more jambalaya. I could taste the myriad of flavor in this. I just got hit with a good bunch of cayenne pepper. You can also add black pepper, salt, anything you want to this. But if you want a basic way to make jambalaya, this is it. Anything you do to it after that, feel free to add it and post a comment and let me know how well you did in making good old-fashioned jambalaya. This is Cooking with SonicBlu, and I guarantee I'm going to catch you right back with some king cake next, so stay tuned for that. And we're going to be taking our good eating into the living room and have us some jambalaya. Now all we need are some beads. This is Cooking with SonicBlu, SonicBlu Darkvolt coming at you. Wiedersehen, and see you later. It's onions. I always cry when I cut onions.
You weren't crying earlier, you were faking it.
Leave Brittany alone! Who the hell cares about Britney Spears?
Nobody, I don't think. I think she's pretty much washed up, I think. I haven't heard anything about Britney Spears in like a long time.
In the kitchen, a true Louisiana chef never cries when cutting onions.
Oh, and we also have apparently a guest in the kitchen now.
Yes, and she wants food. I'm sorry, your food is upstairs.
This is Lily the Husky.
And she thinks everything is for her. Yes.
She's the best.
We'll get to that in about 10 minutes. And we's going to be good and getting some good, all right.